What is up, everybody? We are Cinema3D, and today we are going to be continuing our decade-defining film series from a year ago, continuing on with the top films that defined the 1990s. We are back to our films that defined a certain decade series. We are here with Griffin joining us to speak about 90s films. As always, I'm Sam alongside Justin and John. And
which one's John? Which one's Justin?
You don't want to know.
Okay.
So last year we did our films that define the 1980s. The basic criteria of this list is not necessarily our favorite films from that decade, but the films that when we hear this decade, this is the immediate thought that occurs. And so that is what we're doing today with the 1990s. We do have some ground rules, though. We are not going to be discussing the same film. So if somebody already took a film, we cannot discuss that same one. We got to pick a different one to give different angles and really represent the 90s well between the four of us.
Yep.
So we've discussed our options, we've discussed our list, and we're just going to get right into naming some great films from the 90s.
Before we get into that, let's kind of talk. Like, can we at least say that the 90s is such a great era for Hollywood and for filmmaking?
You know, I think
because we were born.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can say that with a little bit more. For some reason, when we were defining the films in the 1980s, people found it
Dude, they got
a huge problem with the fact that we weren't alive.
Like those films.
I know, yeah. I know that we weren't born in there in the 80s, but like, still, we appreciate good cinema, and
like, dude,
I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, it's old, I'm not watching it. Like, no.
I don't see how being born in a specific decade can make you think of that decade.
No, yeah.
Like, you don't have to experience the decade to experience the thing at the time.
Good cinema is good cinema.
Absolutely.
And you had great cinema in the 90s, and also very important pieces of cinema that we'll get into. Anyways, just want a little bit of intro.
Now, we were all born at the tail end of the 90s, so...
Correct. So I don't know what he was talking about.
not this guy.
Oh, damn.
So we still can't... We didn't live it, really, but we watched the movies. And these are some of the films. I even wore my Waterboy jersey specifically for the occasion.
Good job.
Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
Little Bobby Boucher. So, really emphasize what we're doing here. So anyway, let's get right.
All right, Jim Goldblum.
Emphasize what.
This is up.
Yes. In the 90s. Yes, I was there. Like dinosaurs chasing.
That's awesome.
Will Smith sitting in the chair.
Shooting little green men. And,
green men, yes.
they were actually giant green. Holy crap. What just happened?
I'm trying to remember my list.
Put that on a t-shirt and have him from Jurassic Park like this.
With the, Well, I mean, thank John for a lovely weekend. So, we are getting right into this. I think...
Randomizer?
Yeah, we can randomize who goes first.
We have a randomizer.
Presentations.
Last minute thought, but yeah, I'm just gonna type our names in.
Just type our names in?
No.
This is hilarious. I wish we had a second camera angle. What we actually do? A third? No, we have a third camera angle. A fourth camera angle when you see that.
So
because it's literally your name, my name.
See who goes first.
But why am I not red?
Spin to see who goes first.
Why am I not red?
I have no clue. It's a randomizer. It does random things.
Shit. Oh! Yo, he almost got it. He almost got it.
So slow on my name. All right, so go from bottom.
Start with
top,
number 3 pick.
Number 3 iconic film of the 90s that is demonstrative of the 90s in my mind.
Release date.
Release, like I have to know the release date?
Yeah.
I
don't know the release date.
Damn it. All right, I'll let you know. Fact check yourself.
Release dates.
I just don't know which order you put it in.
The man at the computer.
I don't need to.
So, number 3 for me, this is an interesting list to do. Obviously, this is going to be bathed in nostalgia because it depends on how you perceive the 90s. And
that's actually a better way of looking at this list, too, is, I mean, it can be bathed in nostalgia. Because it's what represents it to you.
What does the 90s feel like to you? What are the films that feel the most like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my number 3 would be a little ditty. made by this tiny little studio called Pixar.
Just starting out.
Known as The Toy Story.
1995.
Right? 1995. That predates me barely. All right. And so I loved Toy Story as a kid. Big Toy Story fan.
Same.
Had the Woody. You know, like that was a big deal. I think Toy Story.
The toy, right?
Say it again?
Talking about the toy, right?
The actual Woody toy. Yeah. I think this movie is the 90s in the sense that it was the first movie of its kind of that sort of animation that was done really, really well. It was so groundbreaking in that way. The story feels so nostalgic. The music, you know, just kind of hits that, you know, You Got a Friend in Me hits to this day.
Absolutely.
You know, and I don't know, you have a lot of iconic voices, you know. You got your Tom Hanks, your Tim Allen going into that, who are just, you know, iconic voices of the 90s in my opinion.
Absolutely.
You know, iconic individuals of the 90s.
It's a good choice.
And so you go back and watch it now, and obviously the animation is different than maybe you received it. Maybe that you received it. Andy kind of looks like a little monster child, but and Sid looks like an actual demon, but maybe that was on purpose. But it's a great story, you know. I mean, it has a lot of depth to it, in my opinion, especially for something for children to watch.
Yeah.
And that movie was made for 90s kids who are now adults now. And so what could be more 90s?
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
That's why I still haven't seen it yet.
Not to mention even all the you know, I mean, the toys in the room and stuff, like everything. There's just so much stuff that can represent the time that it was made.
What the bedroom looked like.
What the bedroom looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
A toy.
Yeah, watch those movies, man.
All right, sad, strange little man. All right, so we're moving on to the next person. That was a great pick. I think that's one for the true mentions at the end, because that's a great pick.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh,
it's gonna be him. Yeah. Yes, it's you.
Number 3 pick from the 1990s.
It is me.
I haven't heard of that.
this is Justin. Hey guys, I really want to do a podcast. It's his turn to talk in the podcast.
I know.
I'm genuinely just a live audience for our podcast. That's what I enjoy the most. Okay, so number 3 for me, sounds like a Wendy's menu item, is a film that came out in 94.
Yeah, look that up. I saw it.
This guy's always creeping on my screen. Anyway, I'll keep this one short. It is a super fun movie. Seen it countless times. Feels so good to watch that movie because it brings me back to my childhood. Legendary actor that is The Mask.
Yes,
Jim
fantastic
Carrey.
voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He played a superhero.
Yeah,
That's what he is.
And a cartoon character.
It's
Twisted one.
It is so funny. Yeah, it's kind of like a Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
But
Very.
No, yeah,
It's
just
just
like an early
bonkers.
Deadpool.
yeah,
That's a great,
Wow.
it's like
great comparison.
it's like,
Yeah.
and he's classic Ryan Reynolds. Like,
Yeah.
Too much, man.
I mean,
Probably
that
less
was
funny,
the
but-
cartoonish superhero breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, looks at the camera. Right?
Yeah, same thing. More of an anti-hero
yes,
when it comes to
Absolutely.
his like motives.
yeah,
It's very true.
it's got a
Well-
really like a attachable, fun story to like. It's like a ride along, like a kid's show,
Yeah.
but like an adult form. It's got some stuff that when I was a kid I did not understand, and I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, oh wow, I get all these jokes now.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
And it smears green, a very 90s color.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's you clouding the Batman Forever.
Nah, so it was Batman Forever.
No, not just Batman. Batman Forever.
Okay.
I mean, you got like maybe Batman Forever. That could be it.
Yeah,
I don't know, 'cause I think of the night when the color
the
for the
Green
90s.
Mile came out in the 90s.
That okay.
Green Mile, the dinosaur from Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
Mimic.
Mimic. Yeah, good movie.
I don't know really what I was thinking.
A lot of honestly, a lot of the posters. Now that you said that, when I was looking up films that
use
came out,
green
it's
a lot.
green all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of green.
Jurassic Park. Which one? Any of them? One of them has a green dinosaur-ish. Oh, that's Godzilla. My bad.
98.
Wow. You just burned me alive.
But anyway, The Mask. That's my third entry for defining films of the 90s.
Another phenomenal pick.
Yeah, it's something that I didn't expect to be in the top 3 for me. I know there's some that I might have picked if when we talked, whatever. But like, I'm happy with this one. So
Absolutely.
now, the question is, who goes next?
It's gonna be done.
How'd you know, dude?
Such BS.
Doing this.
It is John.
Oh yeah. All right. So my number 3 is a film that I love. I think we all do. It was very important, especially for the action genre. And directed by one of the best filmmakers ever. Has amazing special effects, cutting edge, just like Jurassic Park and Independence Day and all these other movies where they were messing around with computer generated images, CGI, and created, I think, one of the most believable characters, digital characters, technically. And just has one of the best action stars ever in a movie. That is Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Phenomenal choice.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that makes any grown man cry, man.
Cool party.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No,
yeah.
But Terminator 2, man, just I love the original a little bit more, but this one as well. I watched a lot as a kid as well. The action is phenomenal. A lot of in camera, just great action, great set pieces, great story. Talk about like one of the best sequels ever made. Trying to like take what you did from the original and just and times it by 10.
So true.
Yeah. And that's how you do a sequel.
Yep.
I
think
the time travel element is still great. With the whole time paradox thing, it's just so good. There's so much in there that you can unwrap, and the music as well is just great. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator is always iconic. Robert Patrick as a T-1000, literally one of the best on-screen villains. Also one of the best effects ever put on screen.
Yeah.
That shit looks good, man. It looks clean. But yeah, Terminator 2. Awesome film.
Absolutely.
I think what also defines the 90s.
No, it does. You can't talk about the 90s without bringing that film up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that had to be represented somewhere here.
Absolutely.
That's a great pick. All right, so films from the 90s. As a disclaimer, and these are not my 3 favorite films,
Right.
Because a good majority of them are going to be found elsewhere. We'll talk about that later. But I wanted to pick 3 films that not only scream 90s to me, ones that I frequently watched from that decade growing up, so that has become a common association, and stuff that has specific elements that could not be replicated today in terms of who's in it, the music in it, the look of it. This is a film that is just had to be made in the 90s, 80s, 2000s, whatever. That's when it was made. So my first pick into this is going to be delving into the superhero genre of the 90s, and this one I think represents that the best, even better than a different film in this series, and that is Batman Forever.
Nice.
As my third choice.
Nice.
So here's my reason for that.
Switched it up.
I did switch it up because I was thinking about it, what really screams the 90s.
Yeah.
Batman Returns and Batman Forever. I'm not actually sure which one I like more between the two of them.
Right.
Of course, there's a lot of elements of Batman Forever that I don't like with what it did to the series. Mainly the tonal shift.
Right.
That's actually the biggest thing. I love Val Kilmer. I love Jim Carrey in it. And honestly, some good story elements. But obviously, Tommy Lee Jones.
I know.
Because that also steak.
Yeah, needed a steak.
He would have been perfect.
The overall aesthetic of the film is what I dislike from going from Batman and Robin to, I don't like Schumacher's the neon like Gotham. Like, it just takes me completely out of Gotham City.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that holds me back from that film, actually, which
Right.
yes, it's complete, but I mean, that goes to show that I have a lot less to say than a lot of people do about this film.
Right.
Yeah. And now
Still overall fun, man.
it's a fun film.
Detecting a Jim Carrey pattern here.
Jim, well, that's one of the big reasons why this was chosen was
King
because
of the 90s.
he is the true king when it comes to if you're trying to do comedy or anything. Yes, Ron Williams huge, but you can trace him back to the 80s along with like Eddie Murphy. But if we're talking about specifically the 90s, that was Jim Carrey's decade.
Dude, absolutely.
Nobody could do what he did, and still I don't think we have a comedian out there who can be as animated as him. Like he went another level.
Are you saying Eggman is not his most iconic role?
It's one of my favorite roles. But I mean, yeah, that's
Interesting thing.
the other thing with Forever over Returns though, is like,
Well, Returns, when you're talking about it, kind of feels like a delayed 80s movie,
a delayed 80s movie.
I can see that, yeah.
which works better for continuing the series, honestly.
It does.
But it doesn't fit with a lot of these that we've mentioned, maybe besides T2.
Yeah.
90s, you got, I mean, yeah, for the night, Jim Carrey obviously is just a huge thing. Val Kilmer really coming into his film career, getting that lead role. Tommy Lee Jones, you got Kiss from a Rose at the end of the film.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, just so much
Iconic.
of it, iconic Warner Brothers from the 90s.
It is very much iconic Warner Brothers from the 90s. Yeah.
And I just like,
I think it's underrated. I think it's fun. If you go in there knowing that you're not going to get the Dark Knight,
it shouldn't be shoehorned with Batman and Robin.
no,
It shouldn't be
I
associated with that film.
I agree. Yeah, Batman and Robin is its own thing.
They were, I mean, that one, Batman and Robin were making to sell toys. If anything, that's almost a good representation of the 90s. Of
Yeah.
The late 90s.
Yeah.
It's more of a cynical approach of looking at it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that does represent where filmmaking was going.
We should have picked entirely different lists.
But I mean, yeah, no, Batman Forever still is a very enjoyable film. Might be my second favorite one from those movies, honestly, right behind Batman 89. It's the other one I grew up with the most as well.
Yeah, same.
So there you go, number 3.
Yeah. I think all good picks
Yeah, solid
so far.
Oh, yeah.
so far.
All right, so now we just keep the same order.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 2.
Number 2.
It's got to be Tarzan.
That was great.
I thought you were trying to figure out the date, so
I never knew when that came out.
Wow.
What's the main color? What are you thinking about that film?
Green.
Yeah.
No, listen, I've got more to talk about with my number 1 pick, with color and stuff. But Tarzan, Phil Collins, dude. Phil Collins soundtrack. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no sound that can touch your ears that is more 90s than the Tarzan soundtrack. Mm-hmm. It is iconic to this day. It is incredible. And like I'm trying to think of something that like held the culture at the time. And Tarzan was very prevalent in the culture, you know, for like kids and like Halloween. Yeah. That soundtrack was iconic then, and it's iconic now.
It is.
It's still like a trending sound.
Yeah.
Good representation for Disney in the late 90s as well, because they were, you know, very much into, that came out, what, 99? Or 98?
Well,
That was
since
99.
Tarzan and the Lost City was 98, but I don't even know if that's the right film.
No. Disney Tarzan is
Just
90.
Disney.
It's 99.
That's what Man, is it really 99?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got that
99.
coinciding with the opening of Animal Kingdom in 98. So it just like, yeah, it fits late 90s Disney
Yeah.
very much.
It's a good choice.
Dinosaur.
Good choice.
Dinosaur. Oh my god.
Dinosaur.
Great movie. Great movie. You still have to watch that.
You haven't seen Dinosaur?
I've seen The Good Dinosaur.
No,
What?
different. Completely different.
No, I mean, like, I've seen The Good, Better Dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
No, I've seen The Good Dinosaur.
So that is my pick.
Toy Story and Tarzan.
Toy Story and Tarzan so far.
Great choices.
Okay, my number 2
Oh.
is a film I've seen the least that I'm going to mention today. I've only seen it once. That was a big breath. Anyway, I can't talk about this one that much other than it was one of the most impactful films that was made in the 90s and probably changed the course of cinema after. Because everyone just like got so inspired and it like shook everything. But The Matrix. I realized I didn't say the title yet.
I know.
Sam.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was 99 also. So you had Matrix and Tarzan and something else which shall not be named.
Yeah.
paved the way for the 2000s.
Huh?
What?
Yeah,
99.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Both.
I mean, no, you want to talk about the film that defined the 2000s? Well, not being in the 2000s was Matrix.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like
Almost like
that came out right around I don't know much about it, but just enough. Y2K.
Mhm.
So I guarantee you that movie scared like the
it fit in with the
Yes.
it fit with the whole
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like almost like 89 and Mermaid for what they did for 89 leading into the 90s.
Yeah.
Big
Very.
action and then the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah. The Matrix is my second pick.
Good movie.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Did you like it?
Arguably great movie. Oh, did you like it?
It's a
Not in your.
it is in my collection,
Oh, okay, good.
but
Is
I
that the one with
think
Keanu Reeves?
I think I would put it at good flick right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch
It's
it
a
more.
good flick,
You gotta watch
but I do own it. So
To
it's
watch
in my
good.
collection.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good flick.
I think so.
It's not in my collection.
Well, I need to watch it again. Like it's definitely amazing, but I don't know. I need to. I need to know. What are you talking about over there? What just happened? You're confused. I'm not.
You're confused. I'm not impressed. These dudes are shaking hands.
It's all about making deals, baby.
So the Matrix is a. I gotta use the bathroom.
What?
Don't cut that.
He got nervous when you put him on the spot here about the Matrix. I remember when we did watch it though. I remember when we watched
No, you passed
You were like-
out.
I don't think I've ever fallen asleep in a movie sooner, and that's really sad because I made it. I think after it's at the Matrix. I don't know if it was really late at night or what happened, but it went to me.
She was the first slow mo shot with Carrie Ann Moss.
I saw not a single clip from the film when we watched it,
Bro.
and then I woke up during the credits. On
like fully awake.
He's like that dude from the class.
Matrix is a good flick.
we probably started at like 3 in the morning.
Probably. With the track record, yeah. He's in bed by 7. So
What's your number 2?
Oh yeah, I'm next. Okay, yeah, cool.
I think we're just gonna have to keep all that in anyway. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
it's Sam decided to talk about something valuable.
Brings it back. It's all coming back to me.
It's all coming back to you.
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Oh my god.
What?
Boomer.
What?
All right, so my number 2 is a horror film that I think defined the 90s as far as where we're going with horror, but also with culture in general being very meta. It's a very
Metaverse.
important. Yeah, exactly.
Metaverse.
It's a very important film, especially for the horror genre because it was down the dumps. Directed by the master of horror himself, Wes Craven. That is Scream.
yeah, absolutely. You gotta
Scream
another
is
one. You gotta
phenomenal.
represent it.
Absolutely. Scream is phenomenal. It's my favorite genre of horror, which is the slasher genre, but even the slasher genre was going down. So it's like, hey,
Yeah.
let's do a meta commentary on horror movies and have it centered around real life and a killer mimicking his favorite horror movies and doing more horror movie trivia. The opening of the film itself is just 15 minutes of amazingness.
And Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, exactly, yeah. Well, yeah.
That's what I'm just
But
saying.
it's Drew Barrymore. But it's
Very nice.
it's so good, man, and it's literally it's a must.
Yeah.
It's a must for me every Halloween, every October.
Yeah.
That's what Halloween happens, bro.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. It's true. All right. So, fantastic choice.
Absolutely.
Necessary choice.
Definitely.
Yeah. And a necessary choice for you.
Absolutely.
You're representing yourself well. You're proving
2
your
dark
case.
movies, as expected.
2 dark movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T2 and
I guess T2. Yeah. Not.
it's pretty dark.
Do you consider T2 like a comedy, like a rom-com? Like,
No, but it kind of pioneered that genre of film as well.
Oh
which-
no.
What am I going to say?
I don't know. I feel like you're gonna say it kind of spawned the genre of bad adult and baby kid buddy cop movie.
I mean, yeah. Logan,
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Pedro really loves it, but
Pedro really loves it.
Pedro Pascal.
Last of Us.
Mandalorian.
He's in both.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, that's kind of the first one that did that, right? Where the tough dude has to team up with
Batman and Robin.
how's that?
Batman
and Robin.
Yeah.
Same thing.
George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell is the same thing as
It's just the adult
getting at?
the learning how to be the
Getting
father
at,
figure type role.
and the
Yes.
younger one's always the most annoying one.
And then they Black Adam.
Oh wow.
That's bad.
That's
catchphrase.
that's the worst
Yeah.
that I've seen, at least.
That's the worst. Yeah. No, Terminator 2 does great.
Like, I'd take the freaking what's his name? The Room. I take the Room's
Tony
relationship with him and the other dude, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely.
I take that over Batman and Robin.
I mean Black Adam.
Black Adam.
All right, so my number 2 pick for the 1990s is going to be a film that, as proven, can only be made the way it was again in the 90s because everything about it just screams 90s culture. If you really want to talk about one that like epitomizes all different angles of the decade as well, of the like different like sects of media, it's this one, and that is going to be Space Jam. We're actually going to take a quick break from this because we got a red alert. Mike from Cinema3D just submitted his 3 picks for the top films of the 1990s. This is not a drill. We didn't convey the rules to Mike of the one choice pick, so this is going to be what Mike defines the 1990s as. Some of these may be repeats. All great picks. We're going to jump right into it. Let's see. I think we're working our way down. Goodfellas is the first representation because it is the no real drawbacks or slowdown. It is the best movie of the 1990s. It's perfect.
Wow.
How about that review?
So
Solid review.
Movie Magic Mike.
Yeah. You know, I still haven't seen it. I think it is. I think it would be. I think it would be.
I said Movie Magic Mike.
I think. I mean, if we're playing,
We talking about
if we're adhering to those rules, probably.
Magic
yeah.
Mike? Or we talking about what
We're talking about Mike from Cinema 3D.
that's right. I
Like,
got it.
Movie Magic says Mike, but I took out says.
Movie Magic says Mike. Number 2 is one that Griffin already had in his, which is Toy Story, because word for word, it jump-started an entire genre of animation. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then number 3 was Fight Club,
Nice.
Can't talk about it.
which is can't talk about Fight Club. Great definition of 90s culture and had an excellent twist. And I haven't seen that one.
Who's Anna?
I know.
Anna. We'll see you guys next time.
Only one that will get that is us.
Yes.
Get it?
Get it, Anna.
Get it.
So,
Well, that was a cool ad break.
that was a cool ad break for Mike from Cinema 3D.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Space Jam.
Yeah.
Where it covers in the 90s is, all right, first off, obviously, potentially the biggest icon of a single person of the 90s, which is Michael Jordan. Because
Not Bill Murray.
No, well, Bill Murray as well. I mean, if we're talking about comedians, yeah, he goes back to the early 80s or 70s with Saturday Night Live. But still, I mean, Groundhog Day came out in the 1990s. Ghostbusters is still a big film from that decade as well.
Yeah.
So you got that. But no, I mean, just Michael Jordan, like, I don't think any athlete has defined a decade like him in the 90s because, like, LeBron, what is his decade that he defined? Is it the 2000s? Is it the 2010s? You know?
Yeah.
It's like Michael Jordan just screams 1990s. Then you got also the soundtrack with again coming back with Seal. Warner Brothers loved him in the 90s. Just like throw he knows his whatever that one song is, that Fly Like an Eagle. And then you got also just the resurgence of Warner Brothers animation in the 90s, which is huge, with Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, and Batman the Animated Series. I feel like Space Jam is Iron Giant as being one of theirs. Like, that was peak for Warner Brothers. Like, 90s were incredible. But I think Space Jam kind of like encapsulates everything that they were doing at that time, and also pioneered animation in a sense with the how well they blended the live action and animation together.
I agree.
With the shading.
Yes,
characters, 'cause
that is actually beautiful.
Yeah, it actually worked really well.
That's the one with those creepy monsters.
Monstars.
Yeah.
Kind of terrified me as a
Oh
kid.
yeah, and then everyone else in that movie, Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight. Wayne Knight, if you ever hear this, I want you to know you're a god. It's an iconic human being.
What are you looking at? He's looking at that one. He's looking
Right
he's
here.
talking to the son of the vision.
Wayne Knight. And they can't hear me if I'm looking this way. I need Wayne to hear me.
Hello.
You're a beautiful man.
Oh,
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
oh my goodness.
All right, so and then you got a little representation from Seinfeld as well. Best show of the '90s,
Hey, man. Of
live action.
the century.
Yeah, Seinfeld's incredible. I like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
There's no way you actually think that.
That I don't think that Seinfeld's one of the best shows of the century.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I thought you were gonna say best show.
Oh,
That's what you-
no. But,
20.
I mean, just 20th century, technically. But
Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, if you hear this, is my favorite live action show ever made. It's perfect.
yeah, Larry David.
Love Larry David.
Andrew Lincoln, if you hear this, The Walking Dead is my favorite show.
Who do you want to talk to?
I have no idea.
Wow.
Just say hi to Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
He's cool.
yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine waking up? Yo, you're just laying flat and you just open your eyes and his head's just putting there.
From Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Whew. Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
No, that's the movie.
Wait, who was the guy again?
Christopher Lloyd.
Is he in Home Alone?
You know,
Two?
he's in Dennis the Menace.
That's so
Really?
Yeah, he's
dude,
the
no.
villain in Dennis the Menace.
freaky.
The homeless guy.
I'm talking.
Really?
Ugh.
Oh yeah, with the eating the apple.
He's like,
The music's creepy too, man. For him, his theme song.
From Dennis the Menace. Did you grow up with that movie?
it's dead.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that dun 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 dun
Yep.
dun. Yeah, I watched that movie a lot. All right, and so now we are going to take a quick break, and we are going to come back to you with our number one picks. Stay tuned. All right, so we are back with a quick round of honorable mentions, just to name 4 or 5 films that also define the 90s to us. Justin, what do you got for those?
Okay, I got Misery. That feels like
Great
the
choice.
90s
Yeah.
so much. Anastasia, I always have to put that in there. I know it's not the biggest animated movie, but John recently saw it
Oh,
And I
really?
enjoyed it.
and he enjoyed it.
I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, it's good.
Better watch
You like the animation.
It's good. I obviously love that one. I tried to get you guys. That's probably the one movie I've tried to get you guys to watch the most.
Christopher Lloyd is the main villain.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrifying.
Rasputin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Happy Gilmore,
Oh, yeah.
definitely the comedy pick for me, and then Seven just because of its impact. I'd say I would really wanted to have that as number one, but obviously I just spoiled that wasn't my number one.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah, yes,
my
we
pick
got away
is
here.
going to be the most iconic necessity of a film from the 90s. So,
I will hope.
anyone else have honorable?
Griffin, you want to do yours?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Mask of the Phantasm,
Yeah, absolutely.
big time. Prince of Egypt. I'm glad I animated pick for Prince of Egypt. I just
Amazing
rewatched
music.
that recently. And I was like, ooh,
Dude, it
That feels
hits
like being a kid.
harder the older you get.
that's crazy good.
Yeah, it is good.
Let's see. I had others and then I forgot them, but that's okay. I'll remember them if I read this list. Oh, Mission Impossible.
Still have not seen that one.
You haven't seen the original Mission
Is
Impossible?
that the only one you've seen?
That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on opposite boats right now.
Yeah. Enjoyed that quite a bit. That might be it for mine.
All right, and then for
Yeah.
me, some honorable mentions would be, Last Action Hero, Heat,
Oh, yeah.
The Mask, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Oh, The Mask of Zorro. Well, in my top 10 films of all time. Yeah, great films.
Yeah. For me, I got 6. It's going to be Jurassic Park, Independence Day, Heat, Phantom Menace, Good Will Hunting, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990.
Nice, very nice.
6 of my favorite films right there.
Love it.
All right, so now we're going to get right back into naming our film that defined the 1990s, starting with Griffin. What is your choice for the 1990s?
I think it is the best movie of the 1990s.
Oh, wow.
You know what? I'm gonna stay there for a second.
Yeah, no,
You're gonna stay there?
I'm gonna stay there
But
for a
you're
second.
not, I'm gonna come with you.
All right.
give Griffin his chance to do the justice.
That would be the beautiful piece of art that is Phantom Menace.
I'll show that back over too.
This is nice, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Liam Neeson, if you hearing
The
this,
Liam Neeson.
thank you.
Lucas is Jesus.
Yep.
So, the Phantom Menace. First of all, out of this group, I am the biggest Phantom Menace apologist. Phantom Menace apologist. I love this movie. I will not deign to say that it is a perfect movie, but I think it gets way more hate than it deserves. I think it's really important to Star Wars and Duel of Fates. Now, as to why it has to do with the 90s, I think that this movie's color palette represents the 90s more than anything. You watch this movie not only compared to any other Star Wars film, but just to any other thing that came soon after, and the way that this movie feels based on the way that it's colored. Everything's warm.
Yeah.
Everything's bright. The greens, like you talked about greens, the greens are very like a bright, vibrant green, you know? And even when you watch it compared to the other prequels,
Yes.
it looks and feels so different based off of the aesthetic choices that they made simply with their color palettes. And there was no bigger cultural thing that happened in the 90s than the release of Phantom Menace.
That's very true.
I just saw a video today that said that the US economy suffered like $300 million in employee losses that day because so many people called into work to go see the Phantom Menace.
Damn.
Because it came out on like a Thursday and everyone just called in sick and went to go see the Phantom Menace. There was no movie that was more promoted, no movie that was more looked forward to, no movie that had more toys and other tie-in merchandise than that film did in 1999.
Yep.
It is insane. I, as a kid, because this was right when I was old enough to start enjoying movies and being a kid and getting toys. And for the first like 4 or 5 years of my life, 90% of my toys were specifically Phantom Menace themed.
Yep. My 4th birthday, Phantom
I
Menace.
feel like this
I'm telling
guy
you.
just preached.
Phantom Menace is a great movie, and it is the 90s.
Yeah. That
Why
is
is this guy?
no, I mean phenomenal argument for Phantom Menace. That is going to be a short that has to be pulled. We got to remember that because that just defended the film so beautifully.
I feel like
That's on you.
Thank you.
Sam was like, oh, I gotta revisit my Star Wars list.
No, that's what he was making me do. That is a look at that. That is a great
cover.
That is a great
It's a
cover.
great cover.
Great argument for this film. I loved it.
I feel like Sam's gonna go back and watch that short 1,000 times.
No, but I've always thought exactly what you're saying with the color palette of the film. It stands out amongst all of Star Wars. It really does. It's very unique. I love that movie. That was great. All right. Yeah, I gotta watch it. All right, we're going now to Justin with your favorite film of the 1990s. You got a lot to talk about with this one.
Yeah, I do.
Long history with the film.
I do.
Roller coaster of emotions with it. So,
do.
yeah. Let's,
He's a thesaurus.
yeah. Let's see what you got.
All right. My number one pick for the most iconic, the best film, and also just the best
Yeah.
of the 90s is Independence Day.
Ooh.
Very nice. Very nice.
I mean, with all of your picks, some of which haven't been mentioned yet, I can't think of a film that's more consistent than this one. Literally based off of a holiday. And so everyone immediately goes to watch this movie first, right on July 4th. I mean,
Always.
you forced us to do it a couple times.
A few years in a row.
Which has
Fin Force.
fueled the love for this movie. Every time I watch it, I started out not liking it at all. And then I think after 5 more times every year, we just kind of stayed consistent with it. And each year it got better because it made me realize that it's not just a movie. It's about friendship and basically human nature.
Human
in that
nature.
film.
That's a great point.
And so when you're watching it with friends every year on the same day, that just adds to the movie itself and makes it an experience rather than just something on screen. And it has become an event
It
that
has.
is great to watch because it is a good movie.
Yeah.
A great movie. But it also becomes an experience with people you care about and spend the most time with. So
When I first finally finished watching the whole movie, because I had 2 bits and pieces of it, I finally sat and watched the whole thing, and it finished. I was like, that's a fable. Like, that's an epic.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's an epic. Like,
It is.
it was so grand, and the story had so much depth, and like so many things happened in it that I'm like, it was a long movie, but I'm still like, they told so much epic story there, you know.
and it I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't.
Gotta continue the tradition of watching it on the 4th, man.
I don't care
Oh,
what.
talk about sorry.
No. Go.
The every single time. Okay, yeah.
Every single time you watch it, you're like, yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
It's like both of you said something about it that like sparked it again. But I think it's just every time you watch it, not only does it get better, but everything that was great about it is still great. It's not like, you know, each time you watch it, you just kind of like, it's not, the jokes aren't funny anymore. The jokes hit every single time, if not the same, then harder than the first time you watched it. And it's just so funny.
It's a phenomenal film.
Great movie.
One of the greatest.
That's my number 1 pick for the 90s.
Great choice.
And I think it's going to be kind of difficult to argue which one is the most definitive once we get through.
Well, I mean, both of these scream, you know, 90s, and also just both phenomenal. That is one of my favorite films of all time. I think it really defines like the entire, like, you know, the disaster film and the big action that developed out of that. But then also all of the cast is just phenomenal from that time.
Yeah.
Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum too, like in that ship, like that's incredible. I love that movie. I think it gets too much hate with the character development of there being too many characters.
No, I think it's epic.
No, it makes it epic.
It's
Absolutely.
not even that much. Like, I mean, Lord of the Rings has 5 times the amount of characters you got to follow.
I think they handle the arcs well. There's really 4 arcs in the film. I guess we shouldn't probably spoil it because we really haven't spoiled any films thus far. But
It's pretty cool. I didn't think about not spoiling.
yeah, we've not spoiled any films, but I think they handled them all nicely.
I think
it's well done. So, John, your definitive film of the 1990s.
Well, this shouldn't come as a shock, but this film for me changed my life. Got me. It is the reason why I wanted to be a filmmaker, why to make movies. It's directed by my favorite director, who I aspire to be every day. And it was a very, very important film at the time with the improvements of CGI and whatnot to make arguably some of the most photoreal creatures we've ever seen. And it just looks so good, especially for the time. It's just like groundbreaking. And it's just, I just love adventure movies too. That is 1993's Jurassic Park. Yes, just bask in that glory right there.
That is amazing.
Great.
Alan.
Alan. Yeah, no, this movie's amazing, man. The dinosaurs, the way they were handled, Gesundheit. The way they were handled, it's just phenomenal. All the characters are great. Other Jeff Goldblum appearance. And yeah, music, the theme, all that stuff. What's great is that people that grew up when this movie came out, they would watch this movie, and filmmakers, you know, movie buffs, general people that go see movies, they all said when they walked out of the theater, like, oh my goodness, the filmmaking industry, Hollywood will never be the same because of this film right here, and just the groundbreaking effects and whatnot. So, and it's also my favorite film of all time. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park.
That one worked out for him.
Yeah, that did. And I think, as well, my favorite film from the decade. Just want to say that. It's the right choice. Like, that's all I can say for it. Like, if you're representing it, but like, I have to like secede to you on that, where I think that it is almost the definitive film of the 1990s. Which is why, for my choice, we're going to take a different approach here.
Yeah.
We're going to say definitive animated film. of the 1990s, which is an obvious choice because, I mean, to me, just like Jurassic Park is the definitive film of the 90s for live action, just like objectively, this is to me the definitive film for animation of the 90s and potentially of all time. And that is The Lion King, naturally.
Nice.
So the reason for The Lion King, yeah. I know all three of ours favorite animated film of all time. Is it one of yours?
I put it in the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But see, like, it kind of has to be there, right?
Yeah, it's got it's not really a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lion King just did so much for not just animation, but the film industry. It's coming off of the Disney Renaissance, which is the, you know, pinnacle where Disney completely changed animation, but also, like, you know, we're leading into Toy Story. It made an animation boom that hadn't been seen before, because Disney defined it before, but now we're finally starting to get to where animation is, you know, winning awards, getting nominated for awards, and different studios are popping up. And I think the 90s was a decade that we saw the biggest boom of animation in terms of actual, like, theatrical feature-length films, not just like short series or anything like that. So Lion King is the best representation of that because it's the best film from that time.
Yeah.
I don't think any animated film ever took it to a level of this, like, capacity and a level of that epic with Hans Zimmer doing the score.
It's so good.
It's so good. Elton John doing,
You want to cry. No.
I know, the music, the entire cast, incredible. You got, I mean, Ferris Bueller himself as your protagonist, with Matthew Broderick, who was another big actor from that time. He's in one of John's favorite movies of all time as well, with 1998's Godzilla.
That's not true.
So I don't think any film that has been done in animation or in Disney, like before or since, has been able to redo what The Lion King did in terms of just the epic nature of the film, in terms of the scope of the film. It just was a pinnacle for the film industry and animation industry, and I think that I mean, great cast, great music, everything about the film is perfect. And if I can't pick Jurassic Park, Lion King is going to be my second favorite film from the 1990s and the film that I want to choose to represent this decade. So that is my choice for the 1990s and Lion King.
Very nice. Very nice.
So that is our argument. We do have to come to a cohesive decision of what we think is the definitive film of the 1990s. I'm just going to go right ahead and say that in terms of an argument presented, these two are the ones who are kind of running for that title, because everything you mentioned with the film essentially completely changing the film industry to where you can't come back from that. Like, this is the gold standard of what we're trying to achieve. This is film done right. This is practical effects mixed with computer animation at a time where only that could be done, and it hasn't been captured ever, like, as beautifully since. That is a phenomenal argument. Your argument for this film being just the marketing craze that it was, that no film had the mania that this film did when it came to just, like, capturing America's attention. It was Star Wars. It has a very specific and unique feel to the film and the color palette. And in terms of a big film, I mean, like, this one, both these films took, like, the box office by storm, along with Titanic, like, for that decade.
So then which one?
I loved your argument for this, and it's gonna forever live in my heart. But I think just for the film itself, I'm gonna have to go with Jurassic Park as my choice for definitive film of the 1990s.
You wouldn't get you wouldn't, with all these big budgeted studio films in the 90s. It was definitely a catalyst to test out what can you do with filmmaking, how much you can push. George Lucas had his hands all over ILM with Jurassic Park, so it was just, without Jurassic Park, probably wouldn't have gotten Phantom Menace at the same time too.
Yep, absolutely. Justin, which one do you think you're gonna give it to for the 90s?
Well,
He's probably gonna do his own. Maybe.
if I side with Griffin, that means we could let the robot decide which one wins.
The robot.
Or
Did you
don't
just do that
have to pick
outside?
as well, right?
Well, his pick's obviously gonna be
Jurassic Park, so that's two.
so
Okay.
that's two. So you're picking Phantom.
That'd be interesting, actually. Should we ask him?
Yeah.
Which one are you picking as your definitive film?
So if this was a which is the better movie in the 90s, I'd probably go Jurassic Park or maybe even Lion King, but probably Jurassic Park. But we're not talking about the best movie. We're talking about which one was the 90s. And I would argue that Jurassic Park strongly influenced the 90s, but I don't think as much as Lion King. And I don't think as much as Phantom Menace.
Really?
And so for me, I'm thinking between Lion King and Phantom Menace, because both of them, I think, had the better cultural impact. Not to say that one was more culturally significant than the other, but these two catered to adults and children. Now, I would say more so the Phantom Menace had the widest demographic, right? Lion King, kids animated movie. Jurassic Park, adult thriller, okay? Phenomenal films. Who was Phantom Menace for?
Everyone.
It's for kids. It's for previous Star Wars fans. It's for everybody. And the mania hit everybody. Culturally significant. Changed the 90s. Was the 90s.
All right. I think you should go Phantom Menace as your pick.
I think I'm going to go Phantom Menace as my pick.
I don't know what to pick now.
Oh man,
This is honestly really good.
this was good.
I'm curious.
Good.
Well, no, I mean, I guess, yeah, genuinely pick.
This was good.
I'd like to see what the robot says, but
Well, I still want to see it after, just between all four. But like, I don't know, because when it was when you said the best movie versus like
definitive.
literal. I guess if I'm thinking of it in the craze like you were talking about, Jurassic Park has held up over time, which is why it's so regarded. But Phantom Menace, for that specific last end of a decade, like people were probably looking forward to the rumors for years.
Oh, man, chalk it forever.
The thing about it though is that with Jurassic Park, like I said, you wouldn't get Phantom Menace without Jurassic Park. Plus two, this was the one like because they've had films before '93 that had CGI, but it wasn't even that good. It was just still experimental. This film rocked the world with what you can do, what you can make with actual prehistoric dinosaurs. Star Wars, you don't have any realistic animals, any realistic creatures, stuff like that. So you can do whatever you want. So that was inevitable. But this was like, holy crap, we can make real.
But that's what we're saying is,
dinosaurs.
I'm not arguing that Jurassic Park is a better film, a higher quality film, and a more important film. You know, like what Jurassic Park did affected film more than almost any other film has affected film. I said the word film at least 9 times.
But it made complete sense.
But it made sense. But and again, I also think Jurassic Park did take the 90s by storm, and that it was a big part of the culture, and eventually became a big part of kids' culture too, as it kind of just evolved. I still think Phantom Menace beats it out with the literal mania. We hadn't had a Star Wars movie since 1983, and people thought it was done. All right, Star Wars was the biggest thing that had ever happened in cinema. Okay, and then all of a sudden George Lucas is like, "Hey, 3 more, baby," you know.
Yeah.
That day, and then in 1999, before the turn of the millennium, they all think they're gonna die in Y2K. All right, the world's changing forever, and what do we do to send off the 1000s, all right, to shut out the millennium? We get the Phantom Menace as humanity's message to the past and looking towards our future.
That's just an incredibly strong dart.
I like both, but I might have to go Phantom Menace.
That's all right. This is fun. Jurassic Park.
I love Jurassic
Phantom
Park
Menace.
infinitely above Phantom Menace, but the argument was really strong for some stupid reason. And I would love to pick The Lion King. I would love to pick Independence Day, but the other two.
Independence Day is probably my favorite to watch at this table.
I think mine.
At this point, just because I've seen Phantom Menace so many times.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they meant like at
It's
this
crazy though.
table.
These 4 films are all. We're talking probably. Honestly, I mean, yeah, Phantom Menace included top 50
Phantom Menace is a great movie.
favorite films for me. So these are all phenomenal picks. All right, so go with Phantom Menace.
I'm going Phantom Menace.
All right, so now let's see what the robot says.
Now, should I go between all 4 or just the 2 that we said?
Just do what he said.
Does the
What'd you say?
robot have good taste? Well, because they're both good.
Of what is the definitive film of the 1990s.
It's gonna piss one of us off. All right, boom. Oh my goodness, dude,
Bro,
that was
okay. No,
that was so close.
it was close. To
What does it say?
tying.
It says the definitive film of the 1990s is Jurassic Park.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though.
But dude,
Look,
can you,
great, though.
can you see this? I can't really move my laptop.
That's fine.
I can't do it.
It's there.
But like the line is like here.
Mm-hmm.
It went like right there.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
It was on Phantom for the longest time.
So, what was the thing?
But thing about it is, it's AI. Now we leave it to you, the people.
Oh yes. Back to Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
What is the definitive film of the 1990s? Is it The Lion King, Independence Day, Phantom Menace, or Jurassic Park, or is it one of your own opinion? Please answer our question first, and then state your opinion of which one you think is the definitive film of the 1990s. So that is all we have for you guys today. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell. Follow us on Instagram, on the threads or something.
Yeah,
We're on Facebook. Are we out there?
we are. It's random.
All right, Facebook as well. Follow us no matter where you go, and we will see you guys next time.
Call your mama. She's worried about you.